Have you ever wondered in a rare moment of clarity amidst the whirlwind of life about the true price we pay for our frantic race? To always be present, available for every call, every request, every fleeting spark of attention from a world that never stops demanding. What is the essential value we lose in our relentless pursuit to satisfy external expectations and to prove our presence in an arena often filled more with noise and falsehood than with meaning and truth? Consider with me this strange and thought-provoking scene. A skeleton, this absolute embodiment of finitude and the naked truth beneath the fleeting layers of life, sits with a calmness that is almost regal on a rocking chair, a symbol of comfort, contemplation, and perhaps one's own inner rhythm. Between its bony fingers, a lit cigarette, this complex symbol of rebellion or indifference or temporary escape, or even just a deep-seated human habit in the face of existential absurdity. Behind it stretches a horizon ablaze with the colors of sunset, or perhaps a violent sunrise, a vista suggesting major transformations, the end of one cycle and the beginning of another, or perhaps the harsh beauty of existence confronting its own inevitability. And above all this, the same definitive words from the first scene echo, but here they acquire new dimensions, a different resonance in light of this unique visual context. Stop being available. Is it here a call to despair, to recklessness with life and health, as the cigarette might suggest, to indulging in a nihilistic pleasure in the face of finitude? Or does it represent quite the contrary, an invitation to a deeper mode of existence, to a state of calm sovereignty over the self, to a wisdom gained from contemplating the end, to a freedom attained through conscious liberation from the shackles of external expectations and the servitude of frantically chasing what does not last? It is an invitation to explore the philosophy of selective presence, the art of conscious absence, and the power of noble indifference towards that which does not deserve the attention of the immortal soul. Let us delve once more into the meaning of availability in our era. We previously discussed how availability transformed from a social virtue into a state of existential violation, how it depletes focus, kills authenticity, and hinders the search for meaning. But this image adds another dimension for contemplation. It does not depict someone engrossed in work or drowning in distraction, but rather an entity in a state of apparent ease, a state of disengagement from the external world, a state of deliberate relaxation before the majestic spectacle of existence. This unavailability here is not the product of being busy with other tasks. It is a conscious choice of existential state. It is a decision to withdraw not only from the demands of the outside, but perhaps also from the inner noise of anxiety and frantic striving. The skeleton on the rocking chair does not seem worried about what it is missing, or what others are thinking, or what it must do next. It is present in its moment, in its own stillness, even if this presence is paradoxical. Contemplation and finitude alongside the symbol of distraction or self-destruction represented by the cigarette. This leads us to question the nature of true rest and stillness in human life. Is rest merely a cessation of physical or mental work? Is stillness merely the absence of sound? Or is there a deeper state of inner peace, a state of spiritual and psychological equilibrium, unaffected by the fluctuations and pressures of the external world? Constant availability to the world, with its perpetual busyness responding to external stimuli, is the primary enemy of this inner peace. It keeps us in a state of constant alert, in continuous anxiety about the next step, the next problem, the missed opportunity. We lose the ability to sit quietly with ourselves, to enjoy the present moment, to feel gratitude for what is, because our minds are always preoccupied with the past we regret or the future we fear or pathologically aspire to. Stop being available, in this sense, could be a call to reclaim the right to stillness, the right to disconnect from the accelerating current of events, to step out of the whirlwind of reactions, to sit on your inner rocking chair. Breathe deeply and observe the spectacle of your existence with detachment and calm, just like this skeleton before the blazing horizon. It is an invitation to create spaces in our lives where we are not productive in the narrow economic sense, nor interactive in the superficial social sense, but where we are simply being, present with ourselves, connected to our essence, listening to our own inner rhythm. These moments of conscious unavailability are not an escape from life. They are a recharging of vital energy, a renewal of the spirit, and a recalibration of the inner compass. They are necessary for maintaining our psychological, mental, and spiritual health in a world that constantly seeks to drain us. But how can this inner stillness, this calm unavailability, be achieved in a world that never stops demanding our attention and energy? Here enters the role of a practical philosophy for conscious living. It requires, first and foremost, a deep realization of self-worth separate from achievement and external validation. We must break free from the false equation that links our value as humans to how busy we are, how available we are to others, or how successful we are according to prevailing social standards. Your true worth is essential, intrinsic, independent of these external factors. It resides in your consciousness, your spirit, your capacity for love, thought, and feeling, your connection to the ultimate source of your being. When you grasp this truth, it becomes easier to grant yourself permission for unavailability, to allocate time and space to nurture this inner core without feeling guilt or inadequacy. Second, it requires the courage to go against the grain. The dominant culture glorifies busyness and considers it a sign of importance and success. The person who always seems busy, always available for more tasks and communications, is often regarded more highly than the person who values their own time, sets clear boundaries, and dedicates time for rest and reflection. Choosing unavailability means you might seem strange, lazy, or unambitious in the eyes of some. It takes courage to withstand these superficial judgments and inner confidence that you are on the right path for yourself, regardless of what others think. It is a call to live your life according to your values, not according to the pressures and expectations of the herd. Third, it requires the art of distinguishing between healthy caring and pathological attachment. We are social beings by nature, and caring for others, building relationships, and contributing to society are essential parts of a meaningful life. Stopping being available does not mean abandoning these connections and responsibilities. Rather, it means distinguishing between care stemming from love, responsibility, and empathy, and pathological attachment arising from fear, excessive need for dependence, a desire for control, or a search for validation. We must learn how to be available with our hearts and minds to those we love and are responsible for, but without losing ourselves in these relationships, and without allowing their demands or our demands on them to drain us and disrupt our inner balance. It is a call for healthy relationships based on mutual respect for boundaries and the need for personal space, not enmeshed relationships that erase the individuality of each party. It is also a call to care about public issues consciously and responsibly, contributing what we can within our circle of influence, but without drowning in a sea of futile anxiety about what we cannot change, and without allowing the world's worries to completely rob us of our inner peace. It is a call for the delicate balance between responsible engagement and conscious detachment. Fourth, it requires redefining the concept of power. True power, as hinted in previous scripts, lies not in controlling others or in the amount of noise you make. True power resides in self-sovereignty, in the ability to control your thoughts, emotions, and reactions, in the ability to maintain your calm and inner equilibrium amidst life's external storms, in the ability to choose your response instead of being driven by reaction. This inner power is built and refined in moments of unavailability, in moments of solitude, contemplation, and self-discipline. The person sitting quietly on their inner rocking chair, contemplating, controlling their thoughts, undisturbed by external fluctuations, is actually far stronger than the person running breathlessly in every direction, available for every call, yet lacking control over their inner world. Conscious unavailability is a manifestation of quiet inner strength. Fifth, and this is the deepest dimension suggested by the image with the symbolism of the skeleton and the blazing horizon, it requires reconciling with the reality of finitude and the shortness of this worldly life. When we deeply realize that our existence in this world is temporary, and that everything we chase, fame, wealth, power, is inevitably fleeting, this realization can be surprisingly liberating. It puts things into perspective. You begin to ask, what truly deserves my attention, my anxiety, my striving in this short journey? Is it false appearances, the fickle judgments of people, trivial conflicts, or is there something higher, more enduring? This contemplation of finitude, of the naked truth of existence, can lead us to a unique form of noble indifference, indifference towards trivialities and deep concern for what holds real and lasting value. Our relationship with the source of existence, our pursuit of virtue and wisdom, leaving a positive impact on the hearts of those around us, and preparing for the final journey with a sound heart and a tranquil soul. The skeleton sitting peacefully might not be despairing. Perhaps it has reached a state of profound peace resulting from accepting the ultimate reality, and thus is freed from the burden of caring about what does not last. This philosophy, the philosophy of conscious unavailability or calm self-sovereignty, is in no way contradictory to the essence of the Islamic message. Indeed, Islam, with its emphasis that the world is a passage, not a permanent abode, on the value of time as counted breaths, on the necessity of preparing for the hereafter, on the importance of purifying the soul and cleansing the heart from attachment to anything other than God, and on the virtue of reflection, contemplation, remembrance, dhikr, and solitude, khalwa, provides a complete spiritual and ethical framework for this philosophy. It calls for a kind of unavailability to whatever distracts from the remembrance of God and the pursuit of His pleasure, and complete availability for everything that brings one closer to Him. It calls for commendable detachment, zuhd, which is not material poverty but spiritual richness and liberation of the heart from the captivity of the world. It calls for contentment, qana'ah, and satisfaction, rida, with what God has ordained, which cuts the roots of anxiety and excessive concern about what others possess. It calls for sincere reliance, tawakkul, which frees the soul from fear and anxiety about the future. It is an invitation to live in this world with your body, but with a heart attached to the heavens, with a free spirit, not enslaved by appearances, nor bound by fleeting expectations. How do we translate this deep vision into practical steps in our busy lives? First, create daily rituals of disconnection. Dedicate sacred time each day, even just 10 minutes, where you are completely unavailable to the external world. Turn off your phone, step away from screens, sit in a quiet place. You can meditate, reflect, read an inspiring book, pray, or simply be present with your breath. These small rituals serve as a recharge for your spirit and a reminder of your inner center. Second, practice the art of gentle and firm refusal. Train yourself to say no to commitments and requests that do not serve your higher goals or drain your energy without justification. Don't be afraid of sometimes appearing uncooperative. Protecting your energy and focus is your primary responsibility. You can refuse politely with a smile, perhaps offering an alternative if possible, but be firm in your decision. Third, define no disturbance zones. Designate specific places or times where you are in your creative solitude or in your spiritual retreat. Inform those around you, family, colleagues, about the importance of these times for you and ask them to respect them. These clear boundaries are essential for preserving your inner space. Fourth, cultivate unconditional self-regard. Work diligently to separate your self-worth from your external achievements or others' opinions. Constantly remind yourself that you possess inherent value as a human being, as a steward, Khalifa on earth, regardless of your apparent successes or failures. This self-regard is the shield that protects you from the arrows of criticism and frees you from the excessive need for praise. Fifth, focus on the process, not just the outcome. Often, our excessive caring and anxiety stem from our intense focus on final results and how others will evaluate them. Try shifting your focus to enjoying the process itself, the learning, the growing, the sincere exertion of your best effort. When you enjoy the journey, reaching the destination becomes less stressful and anxiety-provoking, and the true victory lies in the journey itself, not just its end. Sixth, invest in nourishing relationships. Surround yourself with positive, supportive people who respect your boundaries and appreciate your true worth. Distance yourself as much as possible from toxic relationships that drain you emotionally, belittle you, or encourage you to care about trivialities. A healthy social environment is a key factor in supporting your ability for conscious unavailability and maintaining your inner peace. Stopping being available in this multifaceted sense is not a passive act of surrender. It is a positive and active existential stance. It is an affirmation of your freedom as a conscious being capable of choice. It is an investment in your most precious possessions, your soul, your consciousness, your time, your energy. It is the path to building a life measured not by the breadth of its network, but by the depth of its roots, the height of its branches, and the ripeness of its fruits. Contemplate once more that calm skeleton on its rocking chair before the infinite horizon. Perhaps it represents the ultimate wisdom, to live this life fully aware of its finitude, to choose freely how we spend our numbered days, and to find our peace and strength not in frantically rushing outward, but in quietly returning to our inner center where truth, value, and meaning reside. Be the master of your time, be the guardian of your attention, be the sovereign of your soul's kingdom. Stop allowing your essence to be lost in the crowd of the world, and start investing it wisely in what endures and benefits. For herein lies the secret to a good life, and herein manifests the true, unconquerable strength. If you found this philosophical reflection deep and inspiring, if it sparked questions within you or offered you a new perspective, we invite you to like this video so these ideas can reach more seekers of depth and meaning. And subscribe to our channel to accompany us on our continuous journey, exploring the depths of philosophy, wisdom, and the human psyche. We leave you now with this essential question, and we hope you'll share your answer or reflections on it in the comments. In a world constantly pushing you to be available, what is the highest value, principle, or purpose that deserves for you to build a fortress of unavailability around it, to protect and nurture it? Your interaction enriches the dialogue and opens new horizons for us all.